Eliza nodded, frowning as she gathered up the breakfast dishes. I guess you're right, Your Highness. Without another word, she left the room with a tray full of leftovers and a half-full teacup. Prince had barely touched his meal. That was odd, as he usually had the appetite of a starving bear. She sighed softly as she walked down the hall. There was something wrong with the prince. Was he too busy thinking about the princess to realize he hadn't eaten? She seems a bit more brazen this morning. Prince Michael thought to himself, checking his reflection one last time before leaving the room. I wonder if it has anything to do with her presence in the palace. He walked down the hall toward the room. Is she awake yet? She should have had her breakfast by now. Princess Bailey had also risen with the sun, and indeed had already eaten before the prince knocked on her door. Enter, she called out, gathering her robe to cover the rather large amount of skin shown by her nightdress. He opened the door, stepping inside. How are you this morning, Princess Bailey? Still tired from last night? I'm fine, and quite awake. So he had reverted back to calling her princess. Maybe as payback for turning him down the night before. And yourself? I'm alright. He approached where she sat on the couch, drinking the last bit of her morning tea. Have you given any more thought to my offer? That question irked her. So he was only here to ask about something she had already turned down? She took the last sip of her tea, setting the cup down in a saucer. Yes, I have. But you know my answer, and why I cannot marry you. She frowned, looking into his violet irises. She was done with this subject, but apparently he was not. Indeed, you made yourself very clear last night, but I'm sure you'll grow to love me over time. He tried to reason with her, but it wasn't working. He came closer to her, making her slightly uncomfortable as she remembered what had happened last night. He hadn't bruised her, thank the good gods, but he had come close to doing so. Bailey, you're beautiful. Beyond what words can describe, you're intelligent and always on the first to speak your mind. As I said last night, any man would be lucky to have you as his wife. He didn't really love her, but all those things were really true about her. You say those things now, but what if we do get married? Then what would happen? Her icy eyes once again narrowed toward him. I'd bear you a son, but maybe a daughter, and then you would cast me aside like common garbage. Perhaps she had seen this happen before. She spoke with absolution. How can you say that? He was actually shocked by her words. Did that book have a story like that in it? Damn that raggy thing. She didn't respond. If we do become king-queen, I'd do anything for you. You'd be my queen, and I your loyal and faithful king. His eyes hardened towards her, a sign of frustration. Yes, you would bear my children, but that is part of being any man's wife, not just my queen. The room was silent for a moment before she spoke. In all reality, I must find a husband before something horrible happens to father, but I know the man who will eventually marry will not be you. He sighed, defeated. Right. If you truly feel that way, and I can't sway your opinion, then perhaps I'll take this matter to King Victor. I'm sure he'll agree that I would make an excellent husband for his eldest daughter. My father has no say in who I may or may not give my hand to. She raised her voice, but it was pointless, as she knew, as ruler of their home kingdom, he did. We shall see. Those were his final words as he left through the still open door, making his way to the king's bedroom. But what if the old fool was still too sick from too much alcohol? Hopefully he was sober enough to understand the situation. As he left, she sank to the couch, shaking her head. Her father would never force her to marry someone as annoying and self-serving as Prince Michael. Would he?